Jesus Christ. Na 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 na. Bum ba-dum 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 ba-dum. Bum ba-dum 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 ba-dum. Ah. Na 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 na. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Um. uh, yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the BPRL um, Division 1 race. The finale, Abu Dhabi, in in Abu Dhabi, and more exact or more precisely in Yas Marina. Um, both championships have been decided. So in terms of like world champions, like the fight between uh, for the championship is over, but there's still quite a good battle between for the well, second place is um, mostly for noise since he's uh, 20 23 points ahead of Shazar, 24 points ahead of Coke, and well Mattis can't get the second place. But there's as well, but there is an interesting battle for third. Shazar with 155 points, Coke 154, and Matt with 151. So only 4 points between them. So it's gonna be an in, an interesting race in terms of the third position in the drivers' standings. In the constructors, well, Red Bull have already won it. Ferrari looks secured in the second place. Alpine for third as well. But there's as well there's gonna be a battle for fourth between Mercedes and McLaren, and probably there's gonna be a fight for sixth between Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri. Well, Aston Martin can as well be there, but there are um, 17 points behind Alfa Romeo. AlphaTauri is only 3 points behind Alfa Romeo, and for the battle between Mercedes and McLaren, McLaren is 2 points behind Mercedes. So it's gonna be an interesting one for those 5 teams, and as well for 3 drivers. I mean, as well, there's probably gonna be maybe between Lamas can't race today, so he's gonna be 8th. Gravitz as well. It's gonna be secured 7th since he has 97 points and Tur has 134, and Lamas won't be racing, and Volta has only 58, so he's definitely secured in 7th. Um, there maybe can be a bit of a battle between Gravity and Jovi. Gravity having 51 points and Jovi 44, but uh, we will see later on. Um, and as well for the, I mean, I don't know, should I talk about server constructors since like it's more between like all of the like different tiers like divisions, division 1, 2 and prestige, but uh, Red Bull, well, they look they look to be secured 100 points out of Ferrari, and as well they look to be secured about 84 points, I think, out of Mercedes, but there's more of a battle between Mercedes and Alpine for third. The same between Alfa Romeo and McLaren, Williams and AlphaTauri, and it looks like as well Aston Martin, Haas being the last with 201 points uh, for all the different uh, divisions. But we will see as we're gonna take a look at the track. So 16 corners. Recently um, changed few of the corners for like the instead of having that weird out of turn for the that little chicane and then the hairpin is just one hairpin, so you can make a launch like Max did for Lewis in last year. Then turn 9, that instead of having those three like a Singapore sling kind of thing, and then the left-hander is just a long left-hander, hard to get there with the throttle, as you can easily spin there and as well go off bottom of the car and lose it completely. And as well the from turns 12 to 16 they or to 15, no, 16, they have been reprofiled, so they're more rounded. Actually, to 15 because 16 is the same, but from 12 to 15 they are the same. They're a bit more rounded, so uh, you can take much more um, speed through those corners, and as well the second to last corner, which is turn 15, if you, it depending on how draggy is your setup, or like how much downforce you have there, and is your setup like oversteery, you can take that corner flat out, but it's dependent on the setup, and if you are willing to risk it with your setup that is either that doesn't have that much rear downforce. But yeah, 16 corners, 2 DRS zones, and as well 2 DRS detection zones. Speed trap is on the longest straight between turn 5 and 6, and it's on the end of the on the at the end of the straight. The first Grand Prix was held in 2009, number of laps 28, but since we're obviously doing only half of it, it's gonna be 29. And as well, there's a sprint with 10 laps. Circuit length is 5.281, and let me just um, Let me just convert them to miles for you guys quickly for the UK guys. In miles that is 3.281. So basic, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna take the other numbers. Um, race distance like the 100%, 306 kilometers. But obviously we're gonna be doing half, so it's about 153. The lap record is held by Max Verstappen last year, 1.26.103. And yeah, the track is in United States, United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi, and it's officially called Yas Marina Circuit. So yeah, as it's already 5 minutes over the time, so yeah. Yeah, as drivers are meant to ready up. Bit of a party around here. Many many people just spamming. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna be going, or we're not actually. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Reggie, is Reggie driving? No, Reggie is not driving. I don't. Wait, I need to check the. Wait. I need to check the check-in. Reggie said that the or put it in the attendance the tentative, but he hasn't changed it, and by the looks of it, he's not gonna be racing for today's short quali sprint of 10 laps and 28 lap race. But we should shortly go into the qualifying. Only only short quali, so 18 minutes of quali only. But it's gonna take almost the same distance, or like time-wise the same length. Like it will be full quali, since well, short quali only takes 18 minutes, but then there's a sprint which takes I don't know if it's 1/3 from 100%, then it's I don't know. I don't know. I can't be asked to do it. But yeah, qualifying started, and uh, I need to get familiar with who's. There are a lot of reserves today. Um, one of them is Sh Sh Sean, Shea. I don't know how to pronounce it. Shea. Can't. The Aston Martin. Don't play. But yeah, the Aston Martin. The other Aston Martin is in the Aston Martin. Shea is in the Aston Martin. What? Holtz is in the McLaren. Hype is reserving for Alpine. I guess. Yeah, that is Alpine. Cars is reserving in the McLaren. Jugger is in the Haas. Stack is in the AlphaTauri. Patino is in the Alpine. Tab is in the Alfa Romeo. Dieterich is in the Williams. I think someone spun. No one spun. And that was the last reserve that I can think of for now, as I need to turn down the audio because it's so loud. The first driver shortly. I think that's gonna be that is gonna be Jogger who's gonna start his time lap. But he spins out of the second final corner, and that was what I was talking about. It can be taken. That last corner can be taken flat out, but just it's dependent on your setup and how you. It's just dependent on your setup. How do you have? How much rear downforce do you have? As Jogger spins out of the third corner, the same place as Tab did, and Tab has still his front wing, but Jogger doesn't. He hit the wall. Now he doesn't have a wing. At least he's still he hasn't completely crashed out, as there are again more yellow flags, but that's just, I think, yeah, those are just slow moving cars. As I think there was an Aston Martin of Shea who well, provisionally he is gonna be the first driver. He's gonna be the first driver to start their own lap. So yellow flags, as that is Lewis, who has crashed out, I think, on the final corner. There's also Gravity. No, that's not Gravity. That Stack was as well going, or I don't know, has he spun or anything? Well, now he has almost. But something happened to him as well. Beside him, or now behind him, there's a Mercedes. So many drivers actually struggling here, as there's as well a McLaren, I think, spun, and giving space for the Williams driver. That is Shea going P1 126.006. That's gonna be beaten by, well, Kravitz not. Giovi goes provisionally P1 with 125.876. Kravitz went P3 135.7, but Kravitz is a fast driver, so I don't think that was. So he probably made a mistake somewhere. Dieterich went now provisional P1 125.646, 2/10 out of Giovi. But there's gonna be Tur maybe. Tur goes 9/10 faster, 124.765. He goes provisionally pole position. Gravity, well, kind of the same with Kravitz. Probably made a mistake on his time lap. So many drivers are going to the pits. That's what I'm saying. That the drivers just are struggling around here. Matt made a mistake, probably this in the third corner, or going to the third or second corner. Actually, that is the second corner. As again, yellow flags on the second to last corner. Is that Kravitz? That is Kravitz. Probably tried to go flat out through that final corner, but he spun. That's what I'm talking about. That final second to last corner can be taken flat out, but you just have to have a big balls. Hype starts his flying lap. Maybe not literally, like Alonso did. Sorry, Reggie, and many people who like Alonso, but Volta as well, I think. No, that's Tur going almost missing the pits, but he made it. he made it back. He almost missed it, but he made it in. So that's good for him. Let's see how Shaza is doing. 53.1 second sector. Now these rounded corners I was talking about, easy to lose the rear. Now Shaza went flat out there, and through the final corner, now through the finish line, 9 cents out of turn, 123.847, and that is Shaza provisional pole position as he spins out of the first corner. So I think behind him there's gonna be Hybe. He's gonna finish his time lap going P3, 125.008. So Cars, I think, starts his flying lap. Just so hard to watch with these other cars. But Foltz, I think he's gonna start his flying lap. There are many drivers before turn 5, and actually, like in that time frame of turn 5, as Volta had to avoid the spinning Alpine as well as the Ferrari, who was off track as well. There was a spun Alfa Romeo, as who went? Jogger went P7, 126.363, taking an interesting line through the first corner, as he now is jumping like a bunny. Holtz goes P4 with 125.555. As to the line came and Williams, I think, of Kravitz, who is, I think, starting his time lap now, but he invalidated already just before turn 2. Easy mistake to make. But that's Kravitz has to again take new tires as Volta goes P2, 124.167. I think I saw a car that had no front wing. I think it was Stack. No, but it's a black car. Stack went off track but didn't get invalidated, as he now, well, he's lagging a bit. Or I don't know if it's only me, but he goes P10 with 126.218. And so Giovi now starting his time lap. Yellow flag's going into turn 7, and now turn 15 as Patino has crashed out. Weird place to actually crash, since it's not really like maybe like just I think now I know what happened. He just lost the rear out of turn 14 and he tried to save it, but in the end he just crashed the car on the outside wall. Both Ferraris have to still make a time. Cokes, I don't think he hasn't left his pit lane any time, as Gravity goes P11, 126.3. Shea as well on a time lap, but he has invalidated it, going off track, exiting turn 13, and I think he will go into the pits. Yes, he will go in. He's going into the pits. McLaren drivers are looking very nicely in P5 and 6. Hype as well very nicely in the Alpine P4, and as well both Mercedes. That's very crucial for the fight between them and McLaren. They were the fighting. Yeah, they were the fighting cars. As no. Shaza is gonna start his flying lap right about now. I think Diego went. No, that wasn't Diego. Tab retires on track. What happened with him? Whoa, he's like. He, I think he just missed the braking. Or something which happened to him that he just was on the outside wall in turn 9. He probably just either he lost rear going into turn 9 or maybe something more severe. There goes into the pits. Shaza is improving 1.5 tenths to the first sector as he has a bit of a slide off turn 8 that may cost him maybe a tenth or two. Now second sector is improving. Now he's not 3 tenths down, so that little mistake will as well probably costed him, as now he goes off track, so we know that he's not doing a lap anymore. He's backed out of it. Matt went P3 with 1 to 24.3. Lewis comes back to his car. That's the that's the goddamn sign of that. Yes. Mojo is coming in into the stream. That's very nice. Kravitz, no, not looking that he's improving, and he's out of fuel as well. The only driver out now is Matt, but he's as well out of fuel. There's a McLaren out on track. That is Morse cars, as well as an Aston Martin of Lewis, F1 Lewis, and now as well came back to the session after some difficulties with the game, probably, or maybe connection. I don't know. I don't know. He said that his controller died earlier, but I don't. But that's not the case. Matt's still out on track, even though he has no fuel. Very strange by him. But on just under 4 minutes left till this session ends. As of right now, Shaza is looking to get the pole position, 3 tenths ahead of Volta. Then behind them, there is Matt, who has completely cut the chicane and jumped. Tur P4 for just a bit over 4 tenths behind Matt. Hype is in P5. Cars, who has now started his probably final flying lap, as at the time as more drivers are coming into the track, as Coke finally comes out of his pits, but probably he has only 1 lap that he can do, so for him there's gonna be 1 lap pressure to the end. Kravitz currently P7, just ahead of Holtz, who Holtz is ahead of Dieterich. Jovi P10, Shea is in P11, Stack P12, Gravity P13, Jogger P14, F1 Lewis P15, Diego 16th, who is starting his time lap now. Tap 17th, but probably will drop down to 18th if Coke is gonna set a time better than him, and the time is 26.8. And I believe that he can make it. And Patino will start 19th. As now 2 minutes left till the quali ends. Yellow flags down into turn 5. That is an Haas of, I think, Diego. I think that was Diego. But Lewis doesn't seem to be improved. No, he was just on a outlap Shea. No, as well, I think he was on an outlap. The game just weirdly makes the outlap that outlap like what is that even thing like the outlap sticker, I guess, just disappears as an Alfa Romeo has spun. I don't know if he actually spun, but yellow flags down in turn 8 and 9, as well as in turn 12. That is Diego. Von Lewis. No. How did he go ahead now? With things happening in the F1. Diego gets 5 place grid penalty with collision with his own teammate, and we see that Joker doesn't have a piece of his front wing, as Diego as well in the background is spinning, but with 40 seconds remaining, Shaza is gonna start his final flying lap, but ahead there is Diego. He has to worry about that. Is he gonna let him through? Because Diego will be as well on a timed lap. But he has spun ahead of him. Thank God that there's ghosting. Coke goes P4 124.664. As Hype and Kravitz are in the pit, so they can improve. Sure, I think went P11 125.779. But Jovi still has a chance to improve his time, as the clock has hit 0. So these are the final laps that we will see till the end. Gravity is already improving by 2.5 tenths. Lewis coming to the final corner. He's not, I don't think he was on a lap, but there is holds. He goes P8 out of Kravitz. Then there's Stack 3 tenths up in the second sector. Shah has retired. Stack goes P10 out of Dietrich, but just missing out on P9. 300 behind Kravitz. It's gonna be Dietrich coming through the line, but he has invalidated his time, so he's gonna be staying 11th, probably. Volta, in the background we saw a spinning Ferrari, but Volta goes P1. Provisional pole position for him, 123.7. But Shaza is not completing his lap, so Volta is on provisional pole position, unless Turk can do something about it, but he's not improving enough through that second sector, as he goes P3, 124.1, and that is mostly qualifying over, I think. Yes, that is qualifying over. Shaza is not gonna improve his time. He has messed up his time somewhere. Matt as well not improving since he's went into the pits. So that's Volta and Mercedes on pole position, and third position for Mercedes for Tur. So this is a very nice. This is a right now where we see Mercedes. This is a dream for Mercedes, but Shaza still in the race. He can do something about it. He's starting P2, third P3, Matt P4, Coke P5, so decent as well for the Ferraris. Cars on his debut is 6th, Hype is P7th, Gravity P8th, Holds P9th, Kravitz P10, Stack 11th, Dieterich 12th, Jovi 13th, Sheat 14th, Lewis, who's I think glitched, who's still driving, is 15th, and both Haas drivers are 16th and 17th, but Diego has that grid penalty, so he's gonna start last. Tap 18th, and Coutinho, who hasn't even set a time, is 17th. Sorry, Dealer Flex in Sector 1. As now Sergio Perez. What the hell is happening? Wait, weird things. Weird things is happening. But yeah, Volta on pole position, Sheza second, Tur Tur is third, and yeah, that's the top three. And Lewis is glitched because he's still trying. Okay, now he has left the session, so. So yeah, Volta P1, 1/10 ahead of Shazza, Tur third, 4 times behind his own teammate. But this is still looking very good for the Mercedes team. Matt and Koch P4 and P5 respectively for the Ferraris. Cars 6th, Hype 7th, Gravity 8th, Holtz 9th. So this is as well very good for the McLaren pair. Kravitz 10th, Stack 11th, and Dietrich is 12th. So this is very good as well for the Williams drivers, and as well very good for the AlphaTauri guys. But now we go on to the sprint, not race, not race, sprint. We say sprint. It will be a sprint. So yeah, I think the only strategy for here is gonna be only the only thing that the strategy is gonna be is just gonna be mediums, I think. But now we focus on to the sprint race. I think there should be a formation lap, but it always surprises us. Always surprises us what the lobby makers do. Sometimes they forget about the formation lap, but we have a formation lap. Only 10 laps of the sprint. We do not see hear anything. But let's look at the details. All on the mediums. Like I said, everyone is on the mediums. And Diego, I think, who he had the penalty. What is happening around here? What is happening in the back? Why is there so much dust? Anyways, well, everyone is on the medium, so basically everyone not pitting. Why is there so much dust at the back? Jesus Christ. The drivers are trying to get as much heat onto the tires. The medium tires aren't that bad in terms of like getting the tire temps like up to like 90 degrees Celsius, but they aren't as well that great, as the Ferraris got disqualified in the formation lap. So what the hell happened there? That's gonna be very compromised start for the both of the Ferraris, starting on the cold medium tires compared to, well, I think everyone around them on the pretty much warmed up mediums. So they're gonna probably drop down the pack and maybe causing some chaos. But we will see when the drivers are gonna set up onto the grid positions. So, sorry, my cat is in here. Wait a second. Alright, I'm back. As the lights are gonna go 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go. Tutra is already getting drive-throughs. Volta not getting the perfect start. Shaza up to P1, as Matt up to P3, surprisingly having the the cold tires. Got a worse start, but that's Matt already out of the race. He spun, I think, himself because of the cold mediums, and that has caused a virtual safety car, I think. Volta, not having the greatest starts, dropped down to P2. Tur kept his position after Matt spun. But Matt got a really great start on those cold mediums, surprisingly. Hype up to P4. Cars and Stack have a drive-through penalty, so this is a ruined race for them. Coke down to P6. He has lost one place. Well, position change. Hype has gained 3 positions. Cars has 1, but he has a drive-through penalty, so he will drop down to probably like last. Coke down to P16. 6th. Gravity 6 now, as Cars has spun out of turn 13. So that is a disaster for him, as he gets ghosted, and he now goes into the pits serving his drive-through penalty. Stack still hasn't served his, but he will have to serve his anyways, somewhere around times. Not that much chaos actually happening around now, as Holt is getting pressurized by Kravitz. And what was that move by Holt? Kravitz was trying to go on the inside, but Holt just didn't want to let him through, and I think he just turned in on him, even before the corner. I don't, but I had not the greatest of angles, but Shazza still keeping his P1. Gravity up to P6 already. Jovi up to P7. But Gravity, I don't actually remember how was it in the standings between them. As Jovi has spun himself out of turn 9. What was I talking about turn 9? That is really tricky to get on the power. As Stack as well has spun himself, but he has spun out of turn 12. He still has to do his drive-through penalty anyways. But Jovi down to P16, while he was 8th in this race. What a disaster for him, as Diego in the back just spinning and spinning. Kravitz going into the pits. What has happened to him? Is he changing his front wing? No, he's changing to the mid. What? I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. But Volta being really getting very close to Shazza, still not getting enough. Still isn't close enough to make a move. But Volta now has DRS open, still not close enough to at least try and make an overtake on Shazza. The Mercedes engine is a tad bit slower, or not, maybe tad. Well, the Red Bull engine I think is the most powerful, I think, and Mercedes is one of the worst. So it's gonna be really tricky for Volta in terms of catching Shazza on the straights, as Shazza sets a new fastest lap, 126.7. Coke will try to catch up to Hybe, as Stack is going to serve his drive-through penalty, and he will drop around the same places as Cars. Shea up to P7, surprisingly, and the back Patino has spun out of turn 2 and 3, so that's again another driver who has spun in the same corner. that corner looks like for our driver's heat that is very tricky with the rear traction and rear downforce. Just drivers just losing it. Many drivers actually losing it. Volta still not close enough to try and overtake Shaza. Gross in the pits again. All right. As he almost lost the rear and almost crashed out. But Coke slowly catching up to Hybe, who Hybe last time, last race in Bahrain, he won that after removing his 5-second penalty. So I think it was the first victory for him. Kravitz retires on track, and that has caused a full safety car on track. So everyone, even those drivers that went to serve their the drive-through, can now go back. Well, actually only Stack, because he is now the only driver who had the who got the drive-through and still driving. Jovi and Stack pitting for softs. Well, they can make it, and they're one of the last drivers on track right now, so they can gain some time. It will be just, will the top 5 pit for new softs, or will they stay out on these mediums? Shaza is going in, actually fakes it that he's going in. Volta goes in for softs. Hype as well. Coke as well goes into the pits for softs. This may not actually work out for Shaza. Well, he has a buffer in terms of Tur, and probably Graffiti, since he hasn't gone in there as well. Volta is right now removing the pit limiter and now going under the tunnel. But Shea, I think, will be ahead of him, who has gained 10 positions, the most positions of all these drivers. So Volta down to P6, and Hype down to P7, Coke down to P9. So Shaza will have a buffer in terms of Tur, Graffiti and Shea, but as well Tur is looking quite fast around here. Not as fast, not quite the fast as Shaza, but he can still hold on to it. The base advantage between softs and mediums is going to be significant, and the softs will last, and definitely they're not like one lap tires that they're just not usable after one lap. But Volta, Hybe, Coke, Holtz, Jogger, Stack and Patino, they went on the softs. Well, Stack and Patino and basically every other driver down here, they don't have nothing to lose. Jovi as well, he's back to mediums. What has happened to him? He was on the softs when he pitted, but now he's on the mediums. He has pitted again. Yeah, he has pitted twice. What has happened to him? Well, we will see after the race. Actually, yeah, after the both races. But this is looking very great for drivers who haven't pitted for now. Well, those drivers are Gravity, who is as of right now P3, Shea, who is in P4 on his debut, I think. I think on his debut. The Rich in P6, Lewis P8. Yeah. Volta, or basically everyone who's on softs, they will have to push on those softs as like hell. Whereas well on those mediums, on the medium runners. But as Stack gets 5 seconds penalty for collision with Patino. Something weird happening back there at the back. But like I was saying, these soft runners will have to push to their absolute limit, and especially Volta, to get past as quickly as possible Shea. I think that's the first time that I actually pronounced that correctly. Shea, Gravity, Tur, and then Shaza. But safety car is going to be in this lap, so only 3 laps of racing, and Volta has to overtake four cars, or actually 3 if he wants to be back into P2, but 4 if he wants to be in the lead and win the sprint. As drivers are trying to warm up the tires, and Shaza controlling his pace. Safety car still not in the pits, so the limiter is still on. Shaza still swerving around to warm up the tires as he's now going. So the restart is done, and Turk getting a terrible restart, but as well Graffiti got a terrible restart, and now the leader has crossed the line. Shea is trying to overtake Gravity into turn 1 up the inside, but he has failed to do so. At the back as well, there are some overtakes as there was a AlphaTauri who has been spun. Gravity as well down the order, spun from turn 2. Volta already overtaking Shea, but close behind him there is Hype as well on softs. Shea trying in the slipstream to overtake Hype down the inside, but Hype defending very well the inside, but Shea is trying to go in on the inside of turn 8. Now they go side by side through this back straight, but still not close enough. Coke as well trying to get around here up the side of turn 9, and he manages to do so. So Coke up to P5, as at the back Jogger trying to overtake Lewis and Holtz, but he has overtaken them off track, as I think Lewis brake checked Holtz, as Holtz almost got spun. He saved it. Volta already really close behind his own teammate, as 2 drivers at the back, Jovi and Diego, have spun out of turn 14. Turn not looking to let his own teammate past. He's trying to still be P2. There are no team orders in the Mercedes garage whatsoever. Holtz spinning out of turn 2. Volta now has overtaken Tur, but Volta has 3 seconds of time penalty, so he has to manage to, as Tur is pushing Hype off track a bit, but Hype now up the inside of turn 7, and now 8. Tur just sent down up the inside of turn 8 a bit stupidly, and now he has lost, instead of 1 place he has lost 4 places, and now he's down to P7. Is DC Rich trying to around the outside of Shea, as Tur as well at the same time send it down into turn 9. Jogger crashing out of turn 9 on the exit, as well as there's an interesting battle between Stack and Jovi, but Stack ahead of Jovi, Patino 3 seconds. Volta catching up to Shaza pretty fast actually. Holtz retiring, well, he has spun again. Volta, like I'm saying, he has catched up to Shaza pretty quickly, but Shaza doesn't have a penalty and has 60% of his ERS, while Volta has none of it. Coke P3, very nice recovery, but behind him there is still Hybe, and as well on the same softs, so he can still do something about it, but just doesn't seem to have enough ERS to do so, and just not enough, not catching as fast as possible. Volta not really actually catching up to Shaza, even though he has the DRS, Dieterich 3 seconds, as Shea is trying to overtake Dieterich up the inside of turn 9, as Tur spins out of turn 9, so that has promoted Dietrich, Shea and Lewis and Patino one place up, but Shaza out of the final corner and wins the sprint in the Abu Dhabi. Volta P2, as Coke has spun out of the second to last corner. He lost the 4th place. Hype P3, Coke P4, Shea P5, Dieterich P6, Lewis P7. What a drive from both of the Aston Martins, and as well from Dieterich. Tur down to P9 after a bit of shambles that have happened to him. And Patino gets the driver of the day. Well, he has gained a lot of places in the sprint. He started 19th, basically lost. He's up to P8. Gravity, actually, Patino getting the final point. Gravity P10, Stack 11th, Tap 12th, Jovi 13th, Holt 14th, Jogger 15th, Diego 16th, Kravitz 17th, Cars 18th, and Matt 19th. As I think we were supposed to leave, but it's a bit hard in here, in here. But yeah, there is a restart in terms of a yeah. But yeah, new session, so yeah. And now basically I have nothing to talk about. I have literally nothing to talk about in terms of like, what am I supposed to say? Yeah. As drivers are getting a lot of penalties for blocking and cutting the chicanes. Yeah. There's not much to say about So it's gonna be so it's gonna be a yeah. So they're gonna try to do a cross play. Um, for this, they're gonna try to do a cross play, which is a bit weird since I don't think there's anyone that. I mean, no one can even join back in. Mm. I mean, yeah, little updates. There are a lot of uh, there are a lot of arguments about penalties and Geeko with just being apparently bad at being at FIA. Well, what do I care? I'm just a commentator. I mean, I, I, I'm just a commentator in here. I'm just a commentator in here. I don't have anything. There's, they can only say to me that don't be rude to the drivers or something that don't swear. I mean, I haven't even sworn in here, but um, yeah. I honestly don't know why are we trialing crossplay when it does. I don't know. I honestly don't understand doing. Why are we doing um a test on the on the on the on the crossplay on the final race of the season, and even when we are already we have already done the sprint. I honestly don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it myself. Yeah, I have it on. I honestly don't understand it. I, I genuinely don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. Why can't we just do this race normally and then having to deal with this nonsense of arguments and everything? When there were already so many arguments about got um no that's my you need to Wait, I need to... God damn it. Okay, got an invite. From Reggie. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Yeah, the connection. Oh my god, why did we even enable crossplay? The connection is just on life support, man. The connection is just so bad right now. Man, why are we doing a sprint for a... Oh my god. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing... Honestly, I don't... I still don't understand why we're doing a crossplay lobby. Why are we trialing a crossplay lobby like right now? Oh my god, so many things happening. Why? Why? I actually don't have anything to talk about, and I'm not gonna be bothered to um I can't be bothered to talk about what's happening in the Discord server. Honestly, like, I don't understand why. I honestly kind of don't understand. Whatever. No, 20 people. It's gonna be a full race. God damn. Can't we just start, honestly? This is just getting boring for me, even. Okay, the Josh already up now. Finally, this thing is going. Finally, this thing is going. Finally, we are going. And the grid, I have no idea how it is because there's so many things that was happening at the same time. Like, there were so many things that were happening, and I don't even know what. I don't even know how the grid will look like, and I don't even know is there gonna be formation lap. I know nothing. Basically, I basically know nothing. Uh, Let me just take off. As the formation lap starts, well, about now. Okay, actually it doesn't. Now it does. Obviously now it does. Obviously everyone on PS5s. Duh. Basically, strategy is medium hard or hard medium, in my opinion. But wait, I want to see the. Let's see the tires. Both Red Bull drivers, uh, then Patino and Holtz are in the are on the hard, so they're doing the inverted strategy. But the mid session transfers, Luke back into the McLaren cars, now in the Alfa Romeo, high in the Williams, and Patino in the Haas, and as well Noise back into the Alpine car. This was so messy. But Matt starting last and Kravitz 19th after the grid penalties, Reggie 18th, Noise 17th and Luke 16th, High 14th for some reason. Anyways, Holds and High were disqualified from the formation lap, like at the very beginning. We will make sure, or we will be ready to see how many carnages there will be in the race, or anything, as Shaza spun on the formation lap, and it's Shea who is leading it, but no, Shaza, I'm not gonna even comment on that. As well as a spinning AlphaTauri at the back, and now Lewis as well spinning. But now drivers are now forming up to the grid slots. 3 drivers actually got disqualified from the formation lap, and if any other will get disqualified, then it will be for the missing the grid slots. Oh my god, this lag, man, this lag is just so unbelievable. Like the cars are just like porpoising a bit, you kind of say, as drivers are now on their grid slots, and 1, 2, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go for the last time in this season in BPRL. Reggie got immediately drives through penalty. Shaza still keeping his first position. Hype up to P2. Sean Shea P3. Volta down to P4, but still trying to now up the inside of Shea into P5. As at the back there are 2 spinning cars. Those are the Haas of Patino and Holtz, I think. No, Holtz was a bit more at the back, but those Gravity. And Koch is getting a bit pressurized by Lewis, but Tur is making the dive on the inside of Lewis. Now he's trying to get a switch back, but he couldn't make it. As at the back there are yellow flags, as there's a bit of a carnage since Reggie is now up to P13, but it looks like everyone is through. Hype has overtaken Shaza, so the Alpine driver is now in the lead. Shaza down to P2 from pole position, as at the back again yellow flags, that is High. Still not getting any points. Still hasn't gotten any points, and at this point it doesn't look like it. We have to still remember that Shaza is on the hard tires, so he will be slower in these couple of laps. Jovi overtaking Stack even before turn 1, as Stack has been, I think, spun as he resets to track and again spins, but he was, I think, hit from behind by Noise, who is P10. Kravitz 11th from 19th, Matt 8th from 20th, already in lap 2, and there was a Lewis. There was F1 Lewis who has spun himself as well, and I think it was a Haas driver, but Matt is now up to P6, but he's now losing places to, or lost a place to Matt, as well as those Volta was spun as well, very dangerously rejoining the track, almost hitting off his own teammate and Matt, but luckily nothing happened. But Tur up the inside of Matt going into turn 9, but Volta still a bit hitting as Tur has been spun round. In turn 9, maybe by his own teammate, maybe by Matt, but it was either of the two. They're still losing places. Matt's now already up to P5. Hybe still leading, and he's getting the gap bigger to Shaza, and Shaza is not in the DRS zone. But like I said, these hearts are gonna be worse for these first couple of laps. But then, like around lap 6, 7, these hearts are gonna be faster than the mediums. Shea, who got a really great start, he was up to P3, but now he's now getting overtaken by Coke. Even before, long before turn 8, turn 7. Sorry, turn 7. No, that's 6 actually. No, I don't know. I don't know. But Shea, now he will have the DRS, and now we go into turn 9. Shea on the outside, and he makes the move down. But Coke still being there side by side with him. But he's not anymore, but he's still being really close to Shea. And but he can't overtake him around here, I don't think. Here overtaking in the sector 3 is gonna be very difficult. But Coke spins out of this turn 15. Luckily there is ghosting, but that's Coke down the places. Hybe gets 10 seconds for corner cutting, so he's basically out, we can say. But Coke down to P11 after spin. He was fighting for the P3, but now Matt is up to P4, and now he's going to be fighting for P3. So Matt, what a first 3 laps for him, as cars at the back has spun, as well as Patino, who was losing his front plate, the right one. You can't see because of this leaderboard. But Matt has overtaken Shea into turns 7 and 8, but Shea will have the DRS on Matt. Behind them there is Vota, who can maybe sneak around, but he's too far back. Shea around the outside again of a Ferrari down into turn 9, but Matt has re-overtaken him. Shea went, I think, a bit too deep going into turn 9, and that has rewarded or given the place back to Matt. And now the car difference is gonna be huge from Ferrari to Aston Martin. So Matt is gonna probably extend the lead, as Volta is has dived onto the last corner, turn 16, and that has worked for him beautifully. And now he's up to P4. Shot a bit wide going into turn 1. Luke from starting. Matt has spun. Matt has spun out of turn 3. He was third. His race was looking so good after the first couple of laps, as well as Bravidi has spun. But for Matt, the race was looking so great for him. Now he's down to P7, so he's gonna have to do all over it again. Noise is ahead of Shea going into turn 7, as Cars has spun in the same place as Matt. I don't think Matt has any front wing damage. No, it doesn't look like it. And from this view, doesn't seem to have any front wing. No, he doesn't have any front wing damage that we can see. But Shaza has closed onto Hybe, so these hearts are now getting a bit better in terms of the pace between mediums and hards, and as well the machinery wise as well, the difference. Trace has a bit calmed down a bit, but Matt has He's probably trying to go send it into turn 1. He does send it, but he gets spun. And he spun again. Now he's down to P10. This is a disaster for Matt. Right now. Hopefully he doesn't spin here. No, he doesn't, but he's down to P10. And Coke is 9th. So for McLaren, that is Jovi who has spun out of turn 5 as well himself. As there is Coke as well, who has spun as well from turn 5. And it's a disaster for Ferrari right now in these 6 laps that were. Right now, Lewis overtaking. He has overtaken. Ooh, very interesting battle. 3 cars trying to go in turn 8. Matt was pushed. Whoa, whoa, that was. Whoa, Lewis got a thing hit from Matt. And well, luckily Lewis didn't lose his wheel, but he has lost his front left end plate. There's gonna be a lot of talking about that. The stack is down to P10. Matt is now up to P9. But there's gonna be probably some controversy between Matt and Lewis. And yeah, but Luke up to P6. Shea still looking strong in the P5. Lewis and Coke pitting early. Well, probably both of them had. Well, Lewis, we know that he had front wing damage, but Coke, yes, he had front wing damage. He's changing his front wing, so as well he's as well for that. And Coke is changing for the softs. Lewis for the hards. So Lewis is gonna try to make it to the end. Coke is gonna try a bit of a different strategy. Jovi has spun out of turn 1. But the disaster for Alfa Romeo as well. Right now, the race has calmed down a bit. Right now, as Stack had some wheel spin, I think. Turk gets 5 seconds for cutting the corner. Maybe that was that he locked up and he just went straight. We don't know. But they got a 5 seconds, so it's not just a normal, like, just going a bit off track and or something like that. As Stack, where is he? Oh, he's here. Stack has spun again. Now just in turn 5, so he's down to P13. The race has come down a bit. Shazas, he's in the DRS zone, I think. And, well, he's gonna activate his DRS. Yes, he's gonna activate his DRS. But he doesn't have any ERS whatsoever. High, well, not much as well himself, but he still has something. As Jovi has spun again. This is a disaster for Jovi, who is now officially 19th and last in this race. So that's a disaster for him. Shazak catching up to Hybe. And very quickly, actually. He's now down to 3 cents behind him. But now, going into the twisty sector 3, it won't be looking like he will make a move. No, he's here in the 3rd sector. It's very hard to make a move around here, as Jovi, yeah, it was Jovi again, was fun. But Shazas is looking very strong on the straights, but in the corners he's just looking slower than Hybe in the corners. Well, maybe as well that's the hards, but I don't think it's anymore the hards. Maybe made a mistake, or maybe Shazza has a lower downforce car. But we'll see later about that. Reggie has recently overtaken Diego. Now Matt is gonna try to overtake Diego himself, as that Stack has spun out of turn 14. Not that many drivers actually spinning out of turn 4 anymore. Not turn 4, turn 2 and 3. Not many, actually, that many drivers are spinning there anymore. As Matt gets a better exit off of turn 5 on Diego, and Matt with the assistance of DRS, and Diego doesn't have DRS, he will get him easily even before turn 7. Diego's still being kind of close to Matt. Joey retiring on track. So that is Lewis, I think, who has spun out of turn 1. And that's Patino who's... No, Lewis was ghosted for a quick minute. But as Shaza and Hype still fighting it out. Shaza is looking very close, really close to Hype. He's basically very near to his gearbox. And now, I don't think Shaza is gonna make a dive up the inside of turn 5. No, he doesn't. But he's trying to get a better exit of turn 5. Both, actually, Hype is using a bit of his ERS, but Shaza doesn't actually. He doesn't catch up to Hype that much. He had the DRS, but he wasn't using any ERS. So he's saving his ERS maybe to the back straight. Yes, he was saving it. Now he has DRS open, ERS as well usage. Hype, well, none of these drivers actually have any. And Hype still keeping the first place to himself as Stack has again spun. And there's a bit of a fight between Patino and Lewis on the final corner, fighting for the last place. But still entertainment for them, like we see, as Lewis got a bit of pushed off track, but Lewis came better off of that fight. Hype goes into the pits, maybe, I think a bit early for a pit stop on the mediums, but Shaza is now promoted up to P1, and at the back Patino and Lewis are still fighting it out. Stack as well looking very nicely behind them, but I think he's just about. But these two drivers are still looking very nicely between the fight themselves. None of them have DRS, so they went equally onto the DRS detection zone, as Lewis again coming out a bit better after that fight. Patino is still looking very closely to Lewis, but in this third sector it's very hard to, well, very hard to overtake around the third sector. So I don't think anyone will make an actual overtake up like in the third sector. But Patino is still looking very closely. So even though it's fight for P16, it's still an entertainment, not only for them, but as well a bit for us. Reggie has close to Hype. Hype who's on those fresh hearts, but still has to warm them up. They're not optimal up the tire temp. Volta now pitting himself and getting 5 place, not 5 place grid penalty, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that will cost him maybe some time in the end, as well as at the back a McLaren of Luke as well pitting. Hype still keeping his place ahead of Reggie. But Volta, obviously, he was like 5 seconds, 6 seconds behind Hype when Hype was making his pit stop. So Volta is behind Hype by quite the margin. Are these two still fighting it out? Well, the gap between them has a bit separated a bit more, but still quite some fight. Coke has catched up to Cars, as they're gonna be exiting turn 2 and 3. There's a Haas of Diego who is exiting out of pit lane. Patino getting 3 seconds of penalty, as Patino has retired on track out of the final corner. That may cause a safety car. We will go on board with Stack. Where has he retired? Oh, he's retired there. As well as Lewis has spun out of turn 1 on the outside wall. And that is a safety car. That is a safety car, ladies and gentlemen, around here in Abu Dhabi. This is a bit compromising strategy for the hard compound starters. So basically the Red Bull pair holds, but basically only them. For only them, this is a bit compromising. But for all of these drivers that are right now on the hards, it's very good. Vota is serving his 5 seconds, and he's now pitting for his 11 lap old mediums. Alright, a bit weird, but these hard compound starters, so basically the Red Bull pair and holds, they're gonna pit for mediums. Their only concern, maybe the only concern for them is gonna be, are they gonna last till the end? But for Coke, the going onto the soft compound when after that bit of incident between him and Jovi, I believe, that has actually put him very well. That he hasn't used any hard tires. So he has now fresh hard tires. Shasa goes into the pits as expected a bit, probably going on to the mediums. But think Shasa is gonna be the leading car. I believe. Hype is just exiting in the final corner. Shasa, what are we spectating? He's not able to. He's already on the bridge, or at the exit of the bridge. Hybe. Shasa is the leading driver as he overtook Stack, so he has to let him through the AI. So the AI can overtake the safety car, I believe. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want to. But Shasa is the leading car. For the Alpine drivers, it's looking very good for them as well. Having both of the drivers for now in the podium places, it will be only the concern is gonna be Reggie, who can push them, or one of them, out of the podium places, as well as themselves. What they're gonna do, what are they gonna do? As well as Shay can do something about it. Maybe spinning one of the drivers. But Lewis on the softs, he's the only driver on softs, and well, like it was expected, only Holtz, Reggie and Shaza on the mediums, and every single one of the drivers is on the hards. Stack's bot still hasn't overtaken the safety car, and Shaza has overtaken the Stack's AI, as Lewis goes back onto the hards, 6 lap old hards. But as the cars bunch up behind the safety car, this race hasn't looked the best for both of the Mercedes drivers, being in P11 and P12. Yeah, but as well for the Alfa Romeo cars, one of them retired and cars is 14th, so it doesn't look the best for them as well. Well, for Ferrari it doesn't look the best as well, since on the performance chart they're the first car, but both of the drivers are 8th and 15th right now, so it doesn't look the best for them. AlphaTauri as well doesn't look the best, 12th and 17th. Well, Stack has left, so and he's already lapped, so he can't unlap himself in this safety car. The only driver to catch up to the safety car is F1 Lewis. He's 50 seconds behind Coke. The only risk for him is the fact that the safety car may go in at the end of this lap. That's the only concern for him. As Sean Noise overtake each other. How has Sean or Shane or how Shea has overtaken someone under the safety car? How has this happened? How has this happened? How has someone overtaken someone under the safety car? That's just so weird. No comment. As Lewis is catching up, he has already catched up 10 seconds. He has to use his ERS, unfortunately, as the safety car, for his fortune, doesn't go at the end of this lap, so he has still. So, well, it looks like that he's gonna be comfortably at the behind the safety car pack. So he has nothing to worry about. Well, yeah, 20 seconds behind Coke still, but they're going so slow. Like, this pair is going like, they're gonna only go max like at the main straight, like about 200 kilometers, 220 kilometers. More like Lewis can just floor it, like go 320, 310. So, and he's only 10 seconds behind Coke, so and Coke is just leaving the fifth corner, and well, we already see Lewis at the back, so he has already catched up, so he can he now has a big relief in terms of like that his race is not ruined because of safety car going early. But this has allowed the one extra lap behind the safety car. This has allowed the medium runners right now to actually like not use their tires as much as safety car goes in this lap. But the fact that the mediums around here, they will go around 13 laps, 14 laps, I think they can make. Don't trust me about that. But as the back already has spun, or maybe has been spun, so he's now down to P15 as Kravitz gets 5-second time penalty for collision with noise. So some shenanigans, I can't spell it, but some weird stuff behind the safety car, as Reggie is down to P14. But Shaza is going to be again restarting this race. Actually, it was under the sprint. But as Shaza goes already now, Hype still has to be behind Shaza until now. So I think Hype will get maybe 5 seconds, but Shea as well maybe getting 5 seconds because of overtaking someone under the safety car. But we will see what the FIA will say. The FIA has been more controversial here than in real life sometimes. But Noise looking to overtake already Shea around here, as Shea is trying to break the slipstream. He has already made 2 switches on the racing line, but Noise still can't quite overtake him. As the back as well, I think Holt has overtaken Turs or something, but Volta looking hot to overtake Diego going into turn 9 as he goes down the inside and he makes the move down. And behind as well, Reggie overtaking Gravity, and that is Matt spinning out of turn 9 and walking down a bit, but that is a disaster for Ferrari. So Alpine may have a chance to get the second place in the constructors, and Shaza win the second place or third place in the driver's standings, since Coke and Matt having a disaster of a race, and Shaza having maybe the best race of his life, maybe, since he has won the sprint. He has gotten the pole position, he has won the sprint, and if the race will end like this, he will win the race, as Noise at the back looking hot to well, he has already overtaken Shea before the corner, but Shea maybe still can do something about it going into turn 9, but the gap is too big, there's no DRS, so Shea can't help with that himself. So Noise is up to P3, so Alpine looking very strong, P2 and P3 for them, double podium. For Aston Martin as well, looking very nicely for now. Yellow flags at the back, that is cars spinning out of turn 9, the same place as Matt did. Kravitz, not that Shea, I think, having some problems, dropping down 2 places. There's again yellow flags, there's Graffiti and Coke. There was some debris, but that was Coke and Graffiti spun out of, they have spun out of turn 14. There's, I think, someone dropping back. That's maybe Volta. But Gravity has already overtaken Matt. Well, there are a bit of a scramble between them. But it's a disaster for both AlphaTauri and the Ferrari. And the Ferraris. Tur looking to, or actually no, looking to overtake. Well, he has already overtaken Kravitz going into turn 7, but Kravitz still looking hot to re-overtaking him, but now he's trying to go re-overtaking him down into turn 9, but I don't think he has enough speed. But Shea trying around the outside once again, but this time Kravitz, but he hasn't made it. But at the meanwhile, while we were focusing about the fight between Luke, Kravitz and Shea, Holtz out of turn 8, having a bit of a wheel spin there. Luckily he saved it, but he's down to P10, being overtaken by Reggie and Volta. As for the Ferrari pair, as for now looking a bit better, 7th and 8th, 9th. But Tur has penalty of 3 seconds. Reggie has 6. So it's looking like as Holtz has spun out of turn 1, hit the barrier and lost his whole front wing. So we can call that his race is over, basically. Well, not actually over, but just he's gonna be really not there. As Gravity has spun himself as well. He has still his whole front wing. Tur overtaking Shea. Up. Ooh, that was. Okay. Okay, now this is just. Okay, that was a bit dirty from both of the Tur and Shea. Tur, well, too late to changing lanes, but Shea just after that just going into Tur. That was a bit. Okay, now. Okay. Okay. This guy needs to get banned. This guy has to get banned. This guy needs to get banned. This is no joke. This is. This guy needs to get banned. He was literally trying to take Tur out because of their argument earlier, and now their contact. Like what the hell, man? Like, this is only a game. Why do you have to cry about it? If you want to go cry about it, that you just that the race is just not going, like, after one incident, bit dirty a bit from Tur, but it doesn't really matter if it does actually matter, but just not as much as you're trying to literally take out the driver in the league race. Like, mature a bit, man. This is only a game, as that guy has caused a virtual safety car. That was just so bad. But that guy. Unfortunately, we had to see that. That was just like, I have no words for that, for Shea, or I'm not even bothered to spell his name right. I'm not even bothered to say that. As someone, Cars has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under this under the VSC. So that's unfortunate for him, since he was 9th and he was gonna get some points probably in this race, but now he has to serve his drive-through. Well, the three lap margin he still has, or the thing, but he's serving it immediately, and he's got as well 3-second time penalty in that. Reggie looking to overtake Luke around the outside of turn 5. Reggie probably getting a better exit out of turn 5, and as well he has DRS. Luke doesn't, so he has a sitting duck, and he got overtaken by Reggie and Volta even long before turn 7. But now Volta could overtake Reggie down into turn 9, but Reggie's looking or using his ERS as well as Volta was, so Reggie P4. But we have to remember, Reggie has that 6-second time penalty. Volta doesn't have any, so if Volta can just stick behind him for at least for the 7 laps, Shaza new fastest lap 126.933, but probably this will be beaten by, no, it won't, beaten by Reggie as he spins out of the second out of turn 15. Doesn't look that he has any damage, but he has lost 2 places that he has gained on Volta and Luke. And Diego may be looking, no, Diego doesn't have that much pace, and as well worse car, so, but that is a disaster for Reggie. After spinning out of turn 15, that is the place I was talking about at the beginning. That corner is risky if you want to go there flat out. You can lose the car or gain massive amount of time, as Cars retires in the pits. Thankfully that he did that in the pits. For both of the AlphaTauri cars, Gravity having massive problems with spinning, and now he's going off track in time as he again spins. So this is a disaster for the AlphaTauri. P16 right now, and P14 Stack has left the session, and Gravity just doesn't have any grip. Overheated tires by now, and just probably can't be asked to race anymore. As the grid has spread out a bit, but Tur looks to be making move around the outside of Coke, now to the inside of turn 12, but Coke doesn't have any he doesn't have a front wing, So that's why a bit as well why Ter was making the the move there and not later, as Coke not going into the pits. He's trying to hold on to it and maybe wait for another safety car, but the grid has spread out a bit. The closest thing is between Reggie and Luke. Reggie looking to re-overtake Luke once again, but Reggie has 6 seconds, Luke has only 3 seconds. So not only Reggie has to overtake him, he has to get more than 3 seconds so that he can keep his P5. Reggie with his pace right now, I don't think he can get better than P5 right now after starting last and just all of the things that happened to him. I think there was a good drive-through for him as well and all the other things. I think the best that he can get is P5 as Gravity has spun and crashed out out of turn 2, and this has caused a late safety car. A very late safety car. So, and drivers immediately going into the pits for the soft tires. So I expect basically everyone to go onto the fresh softs, even the soft runners that are right now. So Kravitz went in, Tur I expect him as well. Yep, he's going in. This perfect situation for Coke, that he can replace his front wing. Holtz will be going in as well. Yup. So, but yeah, no, but not no. So yeah, everyone in the pits holds no, these are still used tires, and he puts new softs. I expect no, the AI obviously won't go into the pits, but I expect the 3 drivers, Shaza, Hype, and Noise, in the pits as well. As I think Noise is slowing down a bit, so he doesn't have to do so he doesn't slow down in the pits, or is gonna be behind his pit crew, as Hype is ahead of him. Was I think like 3 seconds behind him, but as well in this race there is no, or in this game there is no double stacking kind of thing that was added last game. Hype got 3 seconds for multiple warnings, as yeah, everyone is on the hards, softs. Everyone is on the softs, and so Hype is gonna be ahead of Volta, but is Noise gonna be ahead of Volta? No, he won't. Noise is gonna be behind Volta, and well, he's gonna be behind Volta, but he's gonna be ahead of Luke and Reggie. So at least well, that is as well a good thing that he hasn't lost that many places. He has only lost 1 place. As no, nothing else. I'm just checking the. Yeah. The safety car is still not going in, so I believe there are going to be only 2 laps of racing. This looks incredibly similar to what's happened last year in Abu Dhabi, but just maybe a bit reversed. Well, I think there's not much to talk about. Holes in the pits. Um, again, to change to fresh tires, fresh softs. And this is gonna be a little advantage for him, but this is as well a disadvantage for him because he's gonna be behind Stack right now. I think the safety car should be in this lap, so there's coming 2 laps of racing. I'm sure it should be like that, and it is. So safety car is in this lap, so there are only gonna be exactly 2 laps of racing. So this is gonna be literally a sprint, or these drivers need to do 2 full qualifying laps. Basically, they're gonna have to push like hell in this race. As Shazza is, it's not going now. He is going, still not going. He's going very late. He's going very late to his previous ones, but he's already going. Hybe is on the outside looking to overtake Shazza on the outside of turn 1, but he has the better exit of turn 1. They're going side by side into turn 2 and into turn 3. Shazza is looking still in the lead, but Hybe will probably send it. He sends it around the outside, trying to get a better exit than Shazza. All of the ERS usage for basically all of these. Where the hell went Vodza and Noise? They just went out of nowhere into the right, and they're out of this race. So that has promoted basically everyone behind them up 1 place. That's promoted Reggie up to P3, and Hybe is right now up to P1. But Shazza is still looking on the inside of turn 9, and Hybe on the outside. He's still sticking to it. Look, going a bit to the curb, and Shazza now on the outside. He's getting pushed a bit wide off track. But now Shazza trying to go on the inside of turn 14, pushing over now Hybe. This is hard racing. They know that everything is on the line for this win. Shazza still leading after all of that happened. Kravitz has retired, but Reggie will try to get up to P2. Even though he has those 6 seconds, he will still try to get the second place. But Hybe still looking racy to get that first place on track. Let's see if his penalty will get removed. But Shazza is trying to break the slipstream of Hybe. Hybe is not gaining much. He's not gaining much down in the main straight. Now chicane, and the exit of it doesn't seem to get the greatest exits, and using all of his ERS that he has left, as well as Reggie, but still not looking too close. So it should be Shazza who is gonna win this race, but Reggie still could overtake Hybe somewhere in this 3rd sector. But this sector is very technical, and basically only 1 line is available around here. But it doesn't look like it. Shazza, after all of that happened last lap, Shazza is gonna win the last race of this season in BPRL, Shaza, winner of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hype probably coming in P2. Well, as of right now, no, we didn't even get to see those, but Matt, well, if I'm just gonna go by these that are here, but as of looks like it, Matt Shaza winning the final race of the season. Matt P2, Hype P3, Luke P4. But Matt, what a drive from the last race, as well as what a drive from Luke from 4th place, Turp P5, Reggie P6 from 18th, as well as what a drive from him, 12 places gained. Yes, 12 places. Coke 7th, holds 8th, Noise 9th, Lewis finishes 10th and gets the last point available. And outside of the top 10, Diego, Volta, Stack, Kravitz, Gravidi, Cars, whatever this guy is, Patino, Jovi, and High was DNF'd on the very first laps. But yeah, this was a very exciting race. Well, besides this idiot, who decided to cry more than a baby. This was a very good race. So yeah, this was Abu Dhabi, last race of the season in BPRL. So this was BPRL round 16, Abu Dhabi, last race of the season. And yeah, I have nothing to add basically. This was the Wilson, and see you guys in the, I guess, pre-season, whatever the race in pre-season is. But we will see you guys in the next race, in the next season.